Welcome to the 9th part of this section on teaching using humor. In this part, we are going to discuss when it is not suitable to use humor in a classroom. There are moments when humor is not appropriate, and recognizing those moments is part of professional teaching. Humor is powerful. It can reduce anxiety, build connection, and encourage participation. But that same power means it can also minimize emotions, create misunderstanding, and damage trust. So the question is not only, how can I use humor, but also, when should I not use it? Humor must never override emotional awareness. If a student's emotional state requires support, clarity, and stability, then humor should not be your response. When a student looks frustrated because they don't understand something, and the teacher answers with, "Welcome to English," this might seem light, but the student may feel they are not taken seriously, and they will be discouraged and even embarrassed. I can see this is frustrating. "Let's go step by step" would have been a better answer. This communicates recognition, support, and control. Once the student feels safe, humor might be reintroduced. When there is a conflict and two students disagree strongly, voices might rise. If the teacher says, "Okay, this is getting entertaining," that would escalate the tension and invalidate their feelings, which would in turn weaken the teacher's authority. A better response would be, "Let's pause. We'll continue when everyone is calm." Clear, neutral, professional. In some classrooms, especially in adult or migrant education, students may carry difficult experiences. In cases like these, safety and predictability are essential. If a student shows signs of distress, such as silence, withdrawal, or strong emotional reactions, humor would not be appropriate. A better way to deal with a situation like this would be giving that student a break, or even permission to leave the classroom if they need it, until they feel more calm. For a final example, if a student is disrupting the class and the teacher says jokingly, "Our class entertainer is back," this may seem harmless, but it is actually encouraging the behavior and reducing their authority. This creates confusion about expectations. It is better to set a strong boundary and get back the attention of all the students. Sometimes, people use humor to avoid uncomfortable situations. Instead of addressing a conflict and setting boundaries, they joke. This can create long-term problems. Before using humor, make a short pause and ask yourself, what is the emotional state of the students? What does this moment require? Will humor help or distract? If there is any doubt, keep humor to the minimum. Then, there is the gray zone. Some situations are not clearly emotional or neutral. For example, take a student who makes a mistake and laughs nervously. Here, gentle humor might help, but it must be supportive, not dismissive. Even experienced teachers make mistakes. If humor causes discomfort, acknowledge it, clarify what your intention was, and move on calmly. For example, "That didn't come out the way I intended. Let's refocus." Humor is a powerful tool, but it is not always the right tool. Professional teaching means knowing the difference. Sometimes the best thing you can do is not make a joke. In the next part, the last one, we'll see how to build a humor-rich classroom culture. The Optimo project has been co-funded by the European Union.